皆さんこんにちは。アメリカの多くのメディアはトランプ批判を常日頃から行っていますが、ちょっと最近面白い動画があったので、皆さんに共有したいと思います。2つ動画を紹介したいんですが、1つ目はホワイトハウスのケリー・マクナニー報道官が訴訟についてどういう状況かと問われて、こんなに書類がありますよとアピールする動画です。1つ目の動画はマクナニー報道官の動画を見て CNN がそれをそんなの意味ないといじっている動画になります。でまずは1つ目をご覧ください。
All right, Kayleigh, let's start with you. Explain what those percentages mean and explain you're in the process of getting these affidavits. You have, for example, you brought a pile of them with you tonight.
That's right, I did, Sean. We keep hearing the drumbeat of where is the evidence? Right here, Sean. 234 pages of sworn affidavits. These are real people, real allegations, signed with notaries who are alleging the following, among other contentions. They are alleging, this is one county, Wayne County, Michigan. They are saying that there was a batch of ballots where 60% had the same signature. They are saying that 35 ballots had no voter record, but they were counted anyway. That 50 ballots were run multiple times through a tabulation machine. That one woman said her son was deceased, but nevertheless somehow voted. These are one of many, many allegations in one county, in a county no less, where our poll watchers were in many cases threatened with racial harassment. They were pushed out of the way, and Democrat challengers were handing out documents how to distract GOP challengers. These are real, and anyone who cares about transparency and the integrity of the system should want this to pursue to the discovery phase.
The president continues to remain out of sight after his election loss. His allies are flocking to TV to push their baseless claims that the election was stolen, and they're using some very familiar props.
We keep hearing the drumbeat of where is the evidence? Right here, Sean. 234 pages of sworn affidavits. These are real people, real allegations, signed with notaries. These are real, and anyone who cares about transparency and the integrity of the system should want this to pursue to the discovery phase.
This, of course, despite election officials across America, including Republicans, saying there is no evidence of widespread voter fraud, but certainly did not deter White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany.
I now have 3 binders,
Wait, hold
most
that
of
up.
which are
Let me see.
affidavits.
Hold that up. What can I see?
Well,
it?
I have 3 binders. These are court filings and affidavits.
Binders, yikes. A word to the wise in politics, don't talk about binders. Historically, it hasn't gone well. But this stack of papers tactic is nothing new. Back in 2015, then candidate Trump tweeted this picture of himself supposedly signing his tax returns, which to this day we still have not seen. The New York Times reported this year, among other revelations, that Trump suffered big losses and only paid $750 in federal income taxes in recent years. There are real factual stories behind these props, and they make you wonder why the president or his allies would hold them up. In January of 2017, then President-elect Trump tweeted this picture claiming to be writing his inaugural address. Then he held a news conference about his plans to divest from his private company.
These papers are all just a piece of the many, many companies that are being put into trust to be run by my 2 sons, and I hope at the end of 8 years I'll come back and I'll say, oh, you did a good job. Otherwise, if they do a bad job, I'll say, you're fired.
Of course, since that moment, conflicts of interest surrounding his business dealings have been front and center, whether it's questions about foreign influence or all of the taxpayer dollars spent at his properties when he visits them. Then later that year, another stunt with paper stacks.
So this is what we have now. This is where we were in 1960. And when we're finished, which won't be in too long a period of time, we will be less than where we were in 1960, and we will have a great regulatory climate.
He likes metaphors as much as he likes stacks of papers, like these ones that he was signing in photos taken at Walter Reed during his hospitalization for coronavirus. Now, we still don't know what, if anything, was on them because there was no legislation or executive order that required his attention at the time. But he clearly wanted to give the impression that he was busy working and not convalescing through an aggressive treatment of steroids and experimental monoclonal antibodies. And then moments after he abruptly ended his pre-election 60 Minutes interview, Kayleigh McEnany delivered a stack of papers in a binder to Leslie Stahl, claiming that it was their Obamacare replacement plan. This stack of papers in this binder, the one that has been promised, this plan has been promised to Americans for years.
Leslie, the president wanted me to deliver his health care plan. It's a little heavy.
Oh my God, this is his health care plan.
Yes.
It was heavy, filled with
look at this.
executive orders, congressional
can't lift
initiatives,
it.
but no comprehensive health plan.
To repeat, there is no replacement plan, but those in the White House aren't the only ones impressed by big books.
The end of President Trump's interview when he said, "I'm done," Kayleigh McEnany brought his health care plan in and handed it to Leslie Stahl because she was questioning him about that. He did say
it was
that,
gigantic.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah, and it was just a prop. Like this list that we dissected 2 days ago on this show, a stack of papers from the Trump campaign's lawyers allegedly listing more than 3,000 counts of voter fraud in Nevada, when really it's just a list of Nevadans who can legally vote from out of state and overseas, including service members who are deployed or stationed around the country and their spouses. These are binders full of nothing, stacks of papers with information worth less than the paper they're printed on. They may be huge, but they're also empty.